Welcome, and thank you for watching this video where we will give an overview of the enhancements that were made to Enterprise Onboarding and Transitions in the Orlando release. There were a number of changes that were made to how lifecycle events work in order to improve the end user experience. So in this video, we will show you the administration and configuration involved with these new enhancements, and where applicable, we'll also show how the end user experience has been improved. So let's get started.
The first enhancement to talk about is the ability to order activities within an activity set. Prior to Orlando, there was no way to specify the order in which activities should take place. With Orlando, we've introduced this new activity type. So in this example, if I want my background check to happen before my drug check gets triggered, I can create what we call an activity container. And in this particular case, I'm just going to call it background and drug checks. And then I can add the activities that I want to take place, which in this particular example are that background check service and the drug screen service. And you'll notice that an order is specified. So now, once the background check is complete, then the drug screen activity will be triggered, thus being able to control the order in which those activities take place within the set. The next enhancement gives you the ability to control who has visibility to any particular activity set. So in this example of this pre-hire activity set, there's really nothing here for the new hire to do. So I might want to hide that from them so that they don't need to see it in their view. So when I click into the properties of this pre-hire activity set, you'll notice that there is an option to display to the subject person or not. So if I wanted to hide this from the new hire, I can simply turn that off, and now the new hire wouldn't see it. I also have the ability to control visibility to the open for person on the lifecycle event as well. So again, gives you much more control over visibility of activity sets, which ultimately provides a better experience for the employee because they're not seeing things that aren't relevant to what they need to accomplish. Another enhancement that's geared towards providing the new hire with a better experience is the ability to change the display label of an activity set to a new hire. So for example, if I don't want the new hire to see this pre-boarding label, I can actually provide display title of get ready to start. And that's what the new hire would see in their view of the lifecycle event within the portal as they're completing activities. Next, we're going to look at a couple of enhancements that we made to provide greater flexibility in how and when you trigger activity sets as part of a lifecycle event. So in this example, we're looking at an activity set for week 1, which would be part of onboarding. And typically you would trigger that based off of a date, probably the employment start date, where you've added a day. So once you get past day 1, now you're in week 1. The first thing that we've done is we've added this option to ignore empty dates. So if for some reason there is no date present, the activity set will not trigger until one is provided. The other enhancements related to how activity sets can get triggered is that we've added 2 new trigger types, condition and combination. So what condition allows you to do is set a value based on a field to say, for example, maybe I want to base a condition on the type of employee that it is. Is it a full-time employee or a part-time employee? And I can add other conditions from other tables, and I can either and or those together to get really flexible. The combination option allows you to take the previous capabilities around the date and combine it with these conditions. So I can still have my date trigger for a start date, but then I can also add in the condition of employment type. So just greatly increasing the flexibility you have of when these different activity sets can get triggered. Next, let's look at an enhancement that was made specifically to activities where you can provide custom text to better identify activities to fulfillers. So in this example, with setting up email as a fulfiller that is working on this, I could have a lot of new hires in this example, and they would have lots of requests coming in, and I want to be able to distinguish between the different requests for the different new hires. So in the activity field mappings, I can come in and add some custom text. So now there's a new option here of custom text, and I can actually put in that I want the short description to read, set up email account for new hire, and then pull in a variable from the source table to indicate the person that this is for. Again, just making it easier for the fulfiller to distinguish between the different requests and who they're working on them for. Another enhancement that we made to lifecycle event cases is the ability to resume a case if for some reason it fails due to an error associated with an activity. So once those errors are resolved, maybe it was an issue with a catalog item not being configured properly, you can actually use this resume case button, and what that will do is restart the workflow and reset the context for those things that had errors. So what ends up happening is that any of the errors will get captured in the work notes of the case, and any of the activities that erred out will get relaunched. And really what this is geared to do is help make sure that none of the dependencies between activities or activity sets are disturbed, or it also prevents duplicate activities from being created. To switch gears and look at it from the employee experience, just to recap some of the things that we've already talked about, right? So here as a new hire, looking at, in this case, an onboarding lifecycle event, you can see that that pre-hire activity set, because I hit it, is not visible in the timeline. You can also see my custom activity set name, which is being displayed to the employee here as well. And then one thing we haven't mentioned yet is another enhancement which allows the new hire or the user of the lifecycle event to see upcoming to-dos. You couldn't do this previously. So with this checked, the new hire can see things that are upcoming as they click through the different activity sets. So in addition to knowing what they have to do currently, they can also get a better idea of what to expect that will be coming up in the future. Thank you for taking the time to review this video of the Orlando enhancements to Enterprise Onboarding and Transitions. And as always, for more information, you can always check out the documentation and community sites. Thank you and have a good day.